Hello, everybody. Welcome to our live broadcast. This is Thursday, and we're just, you know, catching up. Wanted to give you an update on the MVC visa backlog and a few other updates, and also give you an opportunity to ask your questions. This is something that we're going to be doing probably once a week, hopefully, allowing you to ask your questions. Join us live here. So as you come on, let me know where you're from, and we'll talk about the visa backlog. There's been an interesting shift. The backlog is actually increasing in January, so we'll see why it's happening and what we can do about it, and also announce our NVC when will you get your visa webinar, which is going to take place in February. So we'll talk about all these things and a few other updates. I'll give you a lot of time to ask your questions. So I'm excited to get you guys. As you log in, let me know where you're from. We've got Udu from Cape Verde. Nice. We've got Daniel and Hani Karishma. We've got all people from Los Angeles and London. So yeah, let me know where you're from. Drop it in the comments. And thanks, Honey. I'm getting the stickers here. Here we go. Thank you so much, Honey. Appreciate it. We got Seattle here. Our friends from Pakistan are in the house. We got Nigeria and Dallas, Texas, and Nepal, Chile, and Florida. Nice. Here we go. All right, guys. So I will give you the opportunity to ask questions, and you can come on camera with me. You can come on video with me. I'll post a link so you can join me on video in a few minutes. So I wanted to start and touch base a little bit about the increase in the National Visa Center backlog in January. We're expecting it to go down. It was going down October, November, but now it went up again. So last month in December, it was 377,953 cases that were pending interview. And this month, it went up by 2.3% to 386,000 cases. And again, the reason is because these embassies are not opening up the doors for interviews, which is a big problem. And we expect to see a lot of litigation happening. And again, I'm curious to hear from you guys in the comments if you are also pending interviews and which embassies you're waiting at. Now, one of the things that we're going to be doing is on February 2nd, we're going to be doing an interview, a webinar that I'll be covering some interesting in-depth transnational visa center embassies and what to expect in terms of when you get your interview. So make sure that you subscribe to that webinar. The details will be in the description of this video. We'll put it up. We'll upload that as well. And also, I encourage you to join our private Facebook group. I posted a link. One of the first comments is the link to our here. This is our Facebook group. So make sure that you join. And in the Facebook group, we announce some things prior to our posting on the YouTube channel. We also have some, some of our members share their progress in terms of MVC, UCIS. You can see when they're getting their interviews. So it's a good place to share information in a private setting. It's a private group. So I encourage you to join this and see you there. And also in the group, we'll be announcing this webinar that we're going to be doing on February 2nd. So let's jump into the NVC, and I'll give you a couple of updates before I will get you guys on screen, and you'll be able to ask your questions on video. So according to the NVC, the number of green card applicants whose cases are documentary complete essentially increased, right? So it increased by 12,000. So now it's 411,000 from December to 422,000 in January. So more cases are getting documented complete, but less people are getting interviews, right? And again, so the issue here is embassies are really, really, really behind with their staffing, with their scheduling, and therefore it's getting more complicated for them to open interview slots. So the MVC is essentially forced to sit there on these cases for months and months and months, and therefore we have this frustration, and we have to figure out what we can do about it in terms of, in addition to expediting, in addition to following up on a regular basis. There's going to be a point where we're going to have to start suing them because it's not fair for applicants to be sitting and waiting. And I'm telling you, by the time we get to the summer, if there's going to be no movement in many of these embassies and consulates, you're going to see a lot of litigation starting, including from our office, starting to sue a lot of these consulates and embassies for our clients to start forcing them to issue interviews. And it's possible to do so through a writ of mandamus. The other thing is that, interesting, is that the number of people that were scheduled for green card interviews increased also by 3,000 from December to January. But yet again, embassies are not opening the doors. And again, if one of the videos that I'm going to be posting next week, we're going to be talking about the roundup of embassies. So I'll give you an example. Let's look at embassies like the embassy in Tel Aviv, for example, where they are fully open and they are making a lot of efforts to process these immigrant visas, but also they're taking cases from other countries. For example, they're taking cases from Ukraine, they're taking cases from other European countries that are stuck. And you're going to see a trend like that of many more consulates and embassies that are taking more and more cases from other posts to help with the backlog, either by direct order from the State Department or because people are actually asking. And we've been doing this in our office, a strategy where if a particular consulate, for example, like the one in Manila, who is really, really behind, we're able to move a lot of our cases to, for example, to Bangkok. They were taking those cases there, or many other posts that were open to taking cases specifically when others are not taking. So, like I'm saying that at the moment, because MVC is really is essentially behind, embassies are not opening their doors. I suggest that many of you are going to look for alternative ways. So, for example, trying to expedite sometimes if you can, or trying to move those cases to other embassies and consulates, and obviously try to stay focused and follow up with the embassies to make sure that they are on top of your case. And maybe if they're ready to open an interview slot, they'll be able to open one for you as well. So I want to take this opportunity to answer your questions, because that's what we're here. We're going to be answering your questions, supporting you. We have a question for Nirama. I want to ask, how much time after MVC approval to get to the embassy? So again, this is a good question, and again, comes back to what I said in the beginning, where you can see that more and more cases are documented qualified, approved by MVC, but they're not getting interviews. So, for example, in Islamabad, it's really, really backlog right now. So people are waiting longer, for example, than if you apply for your interview in Thailand, for example. So to answer your question, it depends on when you were documented qualified and what the situation with the embassy at the time when you got documented qualified. You know what I mean? But on average, people are waiting over 8 months actually, since they were documented qualified, to be able to get interviews, which is not fair. Constantino is asking, I'm inside the US waiting for my green card interview for about 2 years now. Adjustment of status being crazy long waiting. 2 years is really too long, to be honest with you. I mean, why, did you inquire as to why is it taking so long? I mean, this is not, it's not something that should be happening. In this case, I would use congressional assistance and the ombudsman's office to follow up on your case for immigration to be able to give you some answers, because waiting for 2 years is really too long. All right, guys, I'm going to post right now in the comments a link, and this link will allow you to join me on video. So those of you that want to ask me a question on video, just use the link that I just posted, and I'll be able to get in the line, and I'll be able to ask you a question on video. in addition to the questions I'm answering here on the screen. So we have Ryan is asking Bahamas question: Would you be able? Would you be a good lawyer for EB3 unskilled? Absolutely, yeah. So we do a lot of EB cases. We are an employment law firm for immigration, but we also have a family division. So we do a lot of EB cases, skilled, unskilled, and absolutely, just anybody who wants to check it out or work with us, all you have to do is text me 619-483-4549. And remember, this is a specific text number for our YouTube followers and people that are here on the live call, and I'll be able to answer your questions. We've got Mayma and Stormbringer, who is in the line. So we'll get you guys in a second. Mayma, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. What's your question and where are you from? We'll make it fast because people have a lot of questions.
I'm from Liberia. My husband kids got approved since 2020, and up to now he haven't received the interview schedule yet. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so it's similar question to which I just answered on the screen. Your case is from where? Liberia?
Yeah, my case is in Liberia. I'm living in America right now, but I'm far from my husband.
No worries. So I answered. The reason why is because the embassy in Liberia is not opening interview spots, and that's why the cases are sitting in NVC and waiting. What I would suggest for you to do, because it's a smaller embassy and they really respond. We actually had a case there a couple of months ago. I suggest that you email them directly, present them your situation, and you'll be surprised to see what kind of answer they're going to give you. But particularly with embassy like that, which is smaller, they'll respond to you and they'll give you a timeline when you can get your interview. Sounds good?
Okay, thank you.
Of course. All right. We've got, what's your name?
Brian.
Brian. And where are you from, Brian?
I'm from Florida. I'll
Okay.
make this quick. My
Yes.
wife, who's now a U.S. citizen, is from Nigeria. She wants.
Okay.
I was actually in November going to file the paperwork, the I-130 for her father.
Okay.
Bring him in, but she also is trying to get her sisters in too. Is it?
Okay.
No, that's going to take forever, 10, 13 years. Is it easier to get her father into the United States, and once he gets his green card or citizenship, and have him file for his daughters?
Absolutely. Well, I would do both. I would do file for the sister because you want to start the clock running, right? Because you never know. And also get help for the father. And then when he becomes a citizen, he can file for them. So it's basically like a double thing. And the reason I'm telling you that is because there's some movement in the law to shorten the wait time for siblings. They're going to work on some legislation. It may happen in 5 years, but it doesn't matter. Because right now it's taking over 14, sometimes 18 years for people to wait for the siblings. So this is not fair. It's unreasonable. And I believe that the law will change. And the people that are already in the line waiting for the siblings are going to be the first one to benefit from it. Correct. So in your case, have her file for the sibling and then have her do the file for the dad case and then work on both angles.
But is that a waste filing for the sisters?
No, it's not a waste.
Okay.
Because I'm telling you, this legislation is going to change.
I'm going to get a consultation with you. I'm going to.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Yeah. Just text me and we'll work it out.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. All right, guys, let me answer a few questions from the people in writing, and then we'll get back to video. Just get in line, click on the link, and I'll, you guys are waiting in the waiting area. And again, if you like that format, I'll be doing this every week, giving you the opportunity to ask your questions. And we all want you guys to join us at our private Facebook group, because there's a lot of things that we can't say on the public broadcast, but we can talk and discuss inside the group, and we have that, and we do that every day. So make sure you join the Facebook group and let us know that you came from YouTube. I'll take one more question from the people here in writing, and then I'll go back in the video. Luis is asking, I have a conditional green card, 8/24/22. When can I apply for removal of conditions? So you apply for removal of conditions 90 days before your second anniversary. So if you got your green card on 8/24/2022, you're going to apply for removal of conditions on May of 2020, 2 years from there, so 2024. So 90 days before the second anniversary of your green card. Very simple. Don't do it earlier and don't do it late. If you do it earlier, they're going to send the case back. If you're going to do it late, you could get deported. All right, let me take another one of our viewers here. So we got about 3 or 4 people or even more in the waiting room, and I'll take you in the order that you came in. So just wait patiently there. I see Daniel, I see Bosede, and I have Chandriga. Chandriga?
Yes.
And where are you from?
Philippines.
The Philippines. Nice.
Yeah.
Where are you from in the U.S.? Are you in the U.S. now?
Yes, I'm here. I'm a U.S. citizen already, attorney here in
Okay.
Arizona.
Okay. What's your
And
question?
yes. I would like to ask what else we can do. My husband's working permit card was mailed to the old address, and until now we haven't received it yet. We tried to call USCIS, we update the new address, and unfortunately until now we couldn't, I mean, we haven't received it yet, and so that's why he cannot get a social security.
Yeah. So there are 2 things that happen, and it's important for people to hear about this. If they send you the card and you don't receive it, and they have the right address, okay, and essentially you cannot prove that it was because they claim that they have the right address, correct? And
Mhm.
you change your address to a new place recently, right?
Correct. Uh-huh.
So in cases where basically the card is sent back to them,
Yes.
they're not going to resend it to you. So
Oh.
you may have to reapply, unless
Mhm.
we had a case where we were able to call the customer service. You get a
Mhm.
supervisor, and then on that call they can change the address and they can resend the card to you, right? You can try that one option, but if it
Yes.
doesn't work, you may have to reapply for the replacement because they may come
Oh.
back and say we sent it to the right place. It's not our fault that you were not there. Do you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
before you do that, call the 800 number, ask
Mhm.
for a second level supervisor, and
Mhm.
tell them the issue with the address. And sometimes they can do it over the phone.
Oh yes, attorney.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Good luck, of course. Thanks for
Thank you.
being a subscriber. All right, guys. So I see everybody in the line. We'll get you in the order. Let me get another one from the from here. Here we go. We've got Peggy. Do you have any idea how Ghana Embassy Consulate is doing for interviews? We are waiting for my husband visa interview. I've never hear anything from Ghana. So let me see. Ghana. Um, so for Ghana, they are working on limited visa processing. Okay. And again, the problem with embassies and consulates like in Ghana, they're very small capacity. They don't have the staff to catch up on the bunch of interview backlog that they have. And that's why a lot of cases that are designated for Ghana are stuck in NVC. I tell the same thing to people: continue to follow up with NVC, continue to follow up with Ghana, see if you qualify for an expedite. Sometimes it's worth to try at least once. I know it's very difficult to expedite those cases, but it is possible. We still do it to this day at our office. So if you haven't done it, I would try to do it. So again, if you need help with pushing your cases forward, whether it's cases that are stuck 2 years or more at USCIS embassies, we can evaluate if you qualify for a mandamus lawsuit. And sometimes just filing the lawsuit, even without going to trial, can speed up the case and get them to do what they're supposed to do. So don't look at these lawsuits as something scary or that can hurt your case. It's not. It's actually going to be helpful if you qualify. Not everybody will qualify, but that's why it's important to set up a consultation to determine if you do qualify for an expedite or for a mandamus lawsuit to push your case forward. And I'll give you an example. We had a case, they were pending since August of 2021. And we filed this mandamus lawsuit to get them the interview. And literally, once the filing arrived to the State Department, within 4 weeks, they were called for an interview, right? Because again, sometimes they see it and say, oh my God, we messed up. They don't want to be messing with this lawsuit. So it is working, guys. So I highly recommend for you to try. If at least get yourself evaluated. So just text me right here and we can check it out. All right, let's get Daniel, who's waiting patiently in the
Hi,
line. Hey, Daniel, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Where are you from and what's your question?
I'm based in Nigeria, but I'm asking about the case files in Yaoundé. Since 2000, it's 2 years now. I've been waiting for interview,
Okay.
and when you call the embassy, they'll tell you your file is not there. When you call
NVC?
NVC, when you send the mail, they'll tell you the case is not there. Two of them are just playing the games
Absolutely.
I visited the embassy. I visited the U.S. embassy to told them, oh, what is happening? And they say, oh, they are waiting for NVC. So
Right.
I don't know what to do. And it's 2 years now, 2 years.
So I'll tell you, Daniel. So I made a video about this, I think last week or the week before, where I talked about the miscommunication between NVC and the embassy. Sometimes you, like you said, you call the NVC, they tell you, oh, the case is already the embassy. You call the embassy and say, no, no, the case is still in NVC. So the issue is this: in some situations, there is a break of communication between these two agencies. I can tell you that in most of the cases, the files are still sitting at NVC. And the reason is because a lot of these embassies are not open for interviews on a regular basis, or they have limited slots, like in your embassy, right? Your embassy is not open routine visa processing. They're working on limited capacity. And therefore, probably your case is sitting somewhere in MVC. Now, it is really important for you to check with MVC at least twice a year. And the reason is because if you don't, sometimes they can just close your case. And if they do close your case, and it's important for everyone here, if they do close your case, then the embassy is not even going to look at you ever, because they're going to say, hey, your case expired in MVC. You now have to go and refile the paperwork. So you need to follow up with them at least twice a year. In your case, have you tried to expedite to do an emergency appointment or no?
No, 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 I've not. I've not.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. In many cases, the people that didn't try to do those little things like expedite, try request for an emergency appointment, I think it's important to try. And I'll tell you why. Even if you try and it doesn't work, eventually, let's say another year is going to go by and we want to go and file a lawsuit against them, then we're going to show them what we've done in the meantime to try to move things forward. You understand? In your case, you're essentially just waiting. So my recommendation would be to try to at least.
Because the last time they said, oh, send a mail, and they say the person that filed for me told me, hey, they spoke to the boss man. I don't know who is the boss man. That
Right.
the boss man is working on it and told them, hey, it was a mistake, that is still here with them and everything. But I don't know what to do because I'm
So
just fed up.
So Daniel, because it's a very specific issue for you, like I said, in general terms, I explained what I would do in internal thing, but because it's specific for you, I'm happy to help you. Just text me and say when you get the text, mention you were in the live and you want to set up a call with me, and
This
then we can
number is on WhatsApp, right?
yeah, just use that text number, and we can dive deep into your case, and I can understand exactly where is the blockage, and we can figure out a way together to move forward. Sounds good?
Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
thank you.
Thanks,
We'll
Daniel.
do that.
All right, let me take one question from the written here. Satish, how long does it take for U visa, bona fide EAD? I applied in August 2020 and down with the fingerprints. So typically the EADs are taking about 6 months. The actual U visa itself is going to take over 5 years. If your EAD is taking over 6 months, you definitely have to follow up with UCIS. Maybe something happened over there. DQ since December 2020, F2B Lagos. Okay, so remember, guys, another thing that is important. You can be documentary qualified, but your priority date is not current. So the question for you, Bose, is your priority date current? Because sometimes F2Bs are not current. It depends on when you file. If you're not current and you're documentary qualified, you can be waiting for 5 years. It doesn't matter. There's no visas. There's no visas available for you. So if you are documentary qualified and the visas are available and you're waiting from 2020, we need to file a lawsuit at this point. Okay. All right. Let's see. We have I guess Cindy in the waiting room here.
Hi.
Cindy, how are you?
Good. How are
Where are
you?
you from? And
Um,
yeah.
I'm from Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm on the process of apply for the EB3 green card,
Nice.
and I'm waiting for the perm approval.
Okay.
But my last time, when my lawyer, like first time he filed the perm, he messed up, but he didn't recognize until after 6 months, and he just reapply again on last of August.
Okay.
And at this time, I required to have the I asked him to have the case number, for to check. I want to check my document, but
Status.
oh yeah, now I have the case number, but I don't know how to check. Is there any way that I can check my documents so that everything it look right when he filed?
So remember, when you file an EB3, there are two things that are important. The first thing is the prevailing wage request, right? You have
Yeah,
to review that. And the second thing you have to review is the actual form, ETA 9089, the perm form, right?
yeah.
That form is filed online. Even though it's filed online, the attorney has a copy of it because you download it. So all you have to do is request from this lawyer to send you a copy of two documents, your prevailing wage and the ETA 9089. That's all you have to check. Because if you log in online, it's not going to tell you anything. It's just pending.
Oh, okay.
You have to check it because remember, the problem with perm cases, if there's one mistake, even one, I remember
Yeah,
I had a case, somebody came to me from another law firm and their case was denied. And I looked at the application and I found two small mistakes
yeah,
in the form. These two mistakes cost these people 1 year and a half from the process. Imagine. So, because the perm takes a long time, right?
yeah. Right,
And if you make a mistake, you have to start all over again. So all
right.
you have to do right now is ask a copy of your documents. And if you want, I'm happy to review it. In fact, many people in this channel are sending me messages and they want me to give them second opinions. We do that. Of course, you don't have to change your lawyer if you don't want to. But if you want to have a second opinion, if you want us to review your green card case, MVC, perm, we do this all the time. As I said, we have
Okay,
a full team at the office, just so you know, Cindy, that is dedicated just to do perms and I-140s. We work with a lot of companies. So all you have to do is get a copy of your documents, schedule a consultation, and I'll tell you in 20 minutes if there's a problem. And if there is, you need to stop the process so you don't waste another year of your life. You understand?
yeah, yeah.
So that's it. Let's just do that because
Okay,
logging in is not going to help you. It's all
okay.
it's going to tell you is the date. That's it.
Oh,
You need a copy of the EDA 9089 and the prevailing wage, and then we'll tell you if there's a problem or not.
okay,
Sounds good?
sure. Yeah,
That's it. So
that's
get that and then text me this number and then we'll be able to
okay.
do it for you.
Okay,
All right.
cool.
Thanks, Cindy, and
Yeah,
thank you for being a
thank you.
subscriber. All right. I'll get to the rest of you guys in a second. Let me get another question here. We got somebody from Cameroon. Is it possible for someone who was denied the DV lottery to appeal after 2 years? No. DV lottery, once you don't get it, you don't get it. There is no appeal, unfortunately. Let me see here. Sophia, good evening. I filed for my husband and daughter. Their paperwork has been approved and is documentary qualified. Do you know how long before they get their visa interview? Guys, this is like the most common question that I get. It depends on which embassy you're going to go to. It depends on when you were documentary qualified. And it depends on the time of year where we are. Right now, a lot of these embassies are still quite backlogged. And therefore, as I mentioned before, I'm going to do a very detailed webinar in February 2nd at 1 p.m. And the details are going to be in the description of this video and inside our private Facebook group. In that webinar, I'm going to break down a lot of the behind the scenes that are happening in MVC, projections, what I think is going to happen, answer some embassy wait times for some of you guys, and plan ahead for you guys who are stuck in the process. We'll talk about lawsuits, things to do, things not to do, and a few little tricks. So make sure you jump into that Facebook group just so you can be in there. I'd love to see you there and share some more information with you. All right, let's get somebody on video. We've got Arnold, who's been waiting patiently in here. Arnold, how are you? And where are you from?
I'm fine, Jacob. How are you too?
Excellent. Where are you from?
I'm from Cameroon. Can you hear me?
Are you currently in Cameroon right now?
Yes, I'm in Cameroon.
Oh, nice, excellent.
Yeah.
All right, tell me what's your question.
Okay, I'm the one who asked the question about the DV lottery denier because
Oh, you're the one. Nice. Yeah.
Yes, because I wanted to know something. When I was denied, I wasn't denied actually by the CO. Someone just told me at the reception, gave me a phone and told me I was denied. So I wanted to find out, is there a
Okay.
way I can appeal for this or solve
Yes,
the
absolutely.
problem?
If you're not denied by the consular officer, you can repetition, meaning that you can. There's a way to contact LegalNet, which is the legal unit of the State Department, and then they
Yes.
can look at what happened to you and determine whether it was a legal fault issue or something else. Absolutely. And again, if you want me to help you with that, I'm more than happy to look at your file and see if you can submit it to LegalNet to fix it, if needed.
Okay. Okay, I would love that. I would love that.
Okay,
How can I get
just
to you,
text me
please?
and book the consultation with this. Okay,
Okay, do you have a WhatsApp number and what's your
that's a
consultation fee,
WhatsApp
please?
number too. See the number here,
Yes.
619-483. That's also WhatsApp.
Okay,
Just
what's
text
your
there.
consultation fee, please?
The consultation fee is $150 for people that are coming from YouTube. Usually it's more
Okay.
expensive, but especially for you guys. Sounds good?
Okay. It
All
sounds
right.
good. Thank you very
All right, perfect. Let's get another one from our audience. I'm trying to limit those live streams for about 30 minutes because I've got other consultations that I'm doing. But I will, if you like this format, I'll be doing this every week. So don't worry if you didn't have a chance to ask your questions today, we'll be back here next week as well. Suman, I'm here on a USB 1B2 and from Nepal. How can I change my status? You can change your status to a student if you have a job offer, to a work visa. If you have a family member that is here, they can petition for you. But typically, most people will try to change status maybe to like a student visa or a work visa. These are the most common ones. Let's get another person on video. We've got Honey, who is been giving us the little stickers. All right, that didn't work. Let's see. Okay. Hello.
Okay.
Boss, what's your
Hi,
name?
Jacob. What's the day?
Bosade. And where are you from? Where are you calling
Hi,
from?
Jacob. I'm coming from
Where are you from?
Nigeria. From
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it was a question you picked the other time.
You know what? Let
Do
me
you want
let me get. Go ahead. Yeah. What's your question? And I'll answer it.
the documentary qualified you talked about the other time, the qualified since December 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been documentary qualified. Yeah.
What's your category though? What's your category?
FB2.
You're the question that I put on the screen, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you? Is your date current?
I don't know what you mean by current because
So what I mean by current is that you have to look at the date on your approval. On the left side of the approval, there's a date. Then you're gonna go to the visa bulletin and you're gonna look at the date for F2B for February 2023. For example, let's say your date is 2012 and the visa bulletin is working on 2010. That means you're not ready yet.
They passed it.
They already passed it? You sure?
Yes.
Okay, so if they passed it, you need to communicate with the embassy and start putting some pressure on them. Like I said, if you're ready, then communicate with the embassy, see what they're saying. If you get
they kept telling us, they put us, they giving for your documentary qualified for the next 60 days. They've been giving these next 60 days for almost 3 years now.
No, I know. This is from the MVC. I'm talking about the embassy, the actual embassy in your country. You have to communicate directly with them now. And if you don't get and if you don't go anywhere from there, then just get in touch with me. What?
Okay, maybe I'll get in touch because I tried expediting last November. They said no, that I have to wait. Like they know it's documentary qualified and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, but now you are. Now you are. So you need to talk. You need to contact the embassy right now. And if you don't go, if they don't help you, just get in touch with me, and we'll help you to communicate with them. Okay.
Okay. So what should I tell the embassy? What should be the content of the letter?
You tell the embassy that you are documentary qualified. Your dates are current, and you want to know when they're opening an interview slot for you. And start with there and see what the response is.
Okay. I'll do that right away. Thank you very much, Jacob.
Of course. If you need help, let me know. All right, let me get Ani back. Do you have is your camera on?
Hi, I'm sorry, I'm at work at the moment, but
okay, no worries.
Okay. So
Where are
I
you
have
from?
a question. I'm from Philippines and I'm here in South Carolina.
Okay, excellent.
Yes, and I have a question because I have been applying. I applied many times the replacement card because I lost my green card, and then the first one was is they said it's delivered to my house, but it was I did not receive it. So when I reapplied it, it was terminated because they says they had a copy already. What I meant, they say in their how to call it in their how to call documents, they says that I received it but I did not have. So I when I reapplied it, they terminated my my green card, and then when I reapplied it again last year of 2022, but it says that they received my case decision. So what does it mean?
So maybe again, the case decision mean that maybe the card has been approved, but the problem with you is that you physically didn't get it, right?
Yes.
So again, it's happening to a lot of people. In fact, there was another girl that was here before you heard her. She had the same problem. So that's what I'm telling you. Before you file for another replacement, you have to call UCIS, talk to a supervisor, and usually when you do it on the phone, they can verify your address and they can actually help you get a replacement right there on the phone. They can issue a new card. You understand? Because if you file the replacement while the card is still active, it can conflict in the system, right? So the time that I recommend to refile a new card is that when we know for sure it's lost, and they don't have it, you don't have it, then you file a new card. But if the card is just wasn't delivered and still in the system, you need to call and try to save the card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you tried
So
to do
that
that?
means no, I reapplied and then it
Well,
says
so now you need to call them because I feel like there's a conflict right now. You understand?
oh, okay,
So
I
you need
got
to
it.
call them, get the case number, talk to a supervisor, make sure they track it for you. They can do it. And once they tell you, listen, there's nothing we can do, or listen, that we don't have any
Yeah.
records, maybe then you can refile. But right now, I literally have 2 cases just like that right now. And we were able to get the new card in 1 week for the guy because they were able to find it and they just resent it to him. You understand?
Oh, okay.
So
Because
make sure
it's
you do that.
almost like 5 years I have waited for my
I, I get
yeah.
it. But what I'm telling you, if you're not going to be proactive about it, they're not going to care. They're going to sit on it another
Oh,
5 years,
okay, I
right?
gotcha.
And again, if you don't get anywhere by yourself, I'm happy to help you. But try it
Okay, I
yourself
will.
first.
All
Okay?
right. Thank you for your
All
help.
right. Thank you so
Bye.
much. All right, guys. I'm nearing the end of the broadcast because we have another session. And so, guys, thank you so much for being part of this. I'll be back here next week. We'll do this every week. Come back with your questions. As always, don't forget to sign up for our webinar on February 2nd because it's going to be a good webinar. And join our Facebook group. We have a lot of good info there. You can ask questions in private, and we are excited to to have you in there. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a beautiful Thursday, beautiful weekend, and I appreciate all the support. And if you are here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share this with somebody that cares. Thanks a lot. I'll see you next week.